Hey, Burt Middleton here, the Gout Killer. And today I'm here with Dave Bowers. And Dave is a nutrition consultant that has a certificate from the International Institute of
Holistic Healing.
Holistic Healing, okay. But more importantly, Dave has a lot of really good information based on the Weston A. Price Foundation information that is really good for learning to support and nourish the kidneys. And as we gout strugglers know, showing your kidneys love is what it's all about. So Dave, tell us what it's all about.
Well, thank you, Bert. I appreciate the chance to talk about this. This is very important, and thanks for what you're doing, helping all these people.
Yeah, my pleasure. I love killing gout.
I myself been learning about nutrition and kind of followed the path that everybody else tries to follow. In a lot of ways, the low-fat diet, which is very popular these days.
Yes.
But it turns out this is not so good for nourishing the kidneys. The kidneys actually require fats. And I think about when we try to nourish an organ, we're really nourishing the entire body. So nourishment, and that's what it's about for me these days. I'm learning from the Weston Price information. It's really about nourishing ourselves. And I look back to just human milk, babies, and what does a baby require? And the word nourishment actually means, if you look it up, the definition means to foster. And to foster means to support the growth and development of something. And also is based on the word food. So the word food is really nourishment. And so we think about what the human body requires. And if you start with a toddler, with a baby, with an infant, I think we can learn a lot about what the human body requires as far as nourishment. And when we look at human milk, it's around 10% protein, and then around 60% of fatty acids, fats, and then the rest milk sugars, lactose. And so what else is in here? We get wrapped up sometimes in the calories rather than thinking about what's actually in those calories. So the source of calories, we have three different kinds: carbohydrates, protein, and fats. With this new modern idea of low fat, we're only counting calories, we're only looking at the calories that you get from the fat. And so we're told to eat low fat because, of course, fat has twice as many calories per gram as carbohydrates and protein. So we're always encouraged to eat less fat. Whereas nature, according to human milk, is not following this philosophy. And that's the problem sometimes, is we forget that nature doesn't follow our ideas.
Like we're trying to outsmart nature.
We're trying to outsmart nature. And babies thrive on fats and what's in milk. Everything that the baby needs to live, to survive, and to grow is in that milk. So it's nature's perfect food. Milk is nature's perfect food. So, and different animals produce different kinds of milk. Cow milk, which is very popular, which I myself am a fan of, good local raw dairy.
Me too.
And that's actually about twice as much protein. So we're really meant to drink human milk, not cow milk.
Right.
But we can modify cow milk to make it closer to human milk. So it's actually usable for baby formulas. And so raw cow milk can be used in actually nourishing traditions, my favorite book, which I recommend anybody pick up a copy of this to learn how to nourish their body and their kidneys and all the internal organs.
Which you recommended to me, and that's why we're here today, because I've gotten so much out of it.
Yeah, great set of information and a great section on fats, on protein, on carbohydrates. And then we start to learn about what's actually what is made up of, what these fats and proteins and carbs are made up of. So in other words, the micronutrients. So when we get wrapped up in thinking about fat and calories, we're only focusing on the macro level. We need to go down a layer and learn about the micronutrients. And what are the micronutrients? The three main micronutrients.
Tell us, Dave.
Vitamins, minerals, enzymes.
Yeah, okay.
So we see that when you start reading Nourishing Traditions, you learn about these as well now. And we start to find out, well, what's actually in the fat? What kind of fats are there? Well, it turns out there's like a rainbow of fats in that creamy milk or in that butter. There's lauric acid, which is antimicrobial and protects the baby, protects infants from microbes. There's myristic acid, which actually assists the kidneys and is one of the fats that can help the kidneys with a process called myristoylation. And part of what the kidneys do uses this process called myristoylation. And myristic acid in coconut oil and butter and milk fat, these actually help the kidneys in its process. There's other fatty acids in there, palmitic acid, stearic acid, capric acid, all kinds of different fats. It's a rainbow of beautiful fatty acids, essential fatty acids, the omega-3s that we know that are important, omega-6, also very important. So we get into the fats and realize this is actually a nutrient-dense superfood, which is now my new thinking. And all that I've learned, it's really about how many different nutrients can you cram into the smallest thing possible, because then you're going to eat less calories. So in the end, a high-fat diet actually helps a person lose weight and improve their overall health. What else do we find in fats? Trace minerals. One very important trace mineral that's found in butter, for instance, is selenium. Selenium, which I just recently learned that selenium actually can help bind with mercury and help remove mercury from the body.
Take that all the fillings?
But we are exposed to mercury now in much of our food. People are concerned about mercury in fish. It turns out that fish is also high in selenium, certain fish. So if they're high in selenium, it's less of a concern of the mercury. So this is good news. We're finding out that actually these fats protect us. So we're taught that they cause disease, that they harm us, they harm our heart, when in reality our body requires them. And we can look no further than human milk to tell us the truth. We don't have to argue with anybody. Let's go see what's in milk. Well, it turns out milk's filled with not only these fats, minerals, but also vitamins. All the vitamins a baby needs. Vitamin A, vitamin D3, vitamin K, all kinds of different vitamins, fat-soluble vitamins, and then the water-soluble vitamins, the B vitamins, B12, B6, all the B vitamins, vitamin C. So we find out it's everything that baby needs to grow its teeth, its brain, and cholesterol.
So in relationship to that, kind of what just popped in my head as you're talking about that is, and of course people know about this sort of like instinctively, but when a woman is pregnant, or even better yet, when she knows she's going to get pregnant, like in some of the primitive cultures that I started to read, is that they really do a good job of preparing both parents, the mother and the father, from a nutrition standpoint, to be prepared to be pregnant and have a baby and nourish the baby completely.
Yes.
You know, so in these days of like, you know, cokes and cigarettes and drugs and you know, all the crap
They
that
would also
the
wait.
mother eats.
And they would also wait between babies so that the mother could, regain her nutritional level, because having a baby takes out a lot from the mother.
Huh. Wow. Well, man, that sounds really good. You know, I'm not sure how long we've gone on here, but we could go on and on and on and on. So just to wrap up, if somebody was really trying to nourish their kidneys to, you know, really have strong kidneys and avoid gout, what would be, you know, 1, 2, 3 really important takeaways?
Well, of course, Weston Price actually recommended a certain type of food that we're all familiar with, and this is cod liver oil.
Cool.
Yes, from a company by the name of Green Pasture, which is the only product I sell. I don't sell any other cod liver oil. I like this one because it's fermented, which is the ancient artisan process of cod liver oil. And they do a great job. Green Pasture, it's sustainably harvested, and they're supporting traditional fishing operations in the North Atlantic. And it's very clean, safe, no toxins, it's tested for pollutants. But the fact that it's fermented, for me is very, very important. And once you learn, one of the things you learn in nourishing traditions and nourishment for our bodies is fermented foods. We're always a part of these traditional cultures. Sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, kefir, yogurt, all of these fermented foods that people used were part of the enzymes. And so enzymes are really important, and that's where raw foods also come in. Enzymes are very important for digestion. So we need to think about the micronutrients, and that's what I would encourage people to think about. And get past this low-fat paradigm, and let's embrace fat and learn to love it. It's our friend, and learn to love butter.
No problem there.
Yeah, and so they also produce a high vitamin butter oil. If you're familiar with Dr. Price, he discovered the X factor, which he called the Activator X. And so now they've perfected that through a product, high vitamin butter oil, and with combined high vitamin butter oil with cod liver oil, it has a synergistic effect, and you get the 3 fat-soluble vitamins: vitamin A, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2, or the X factor, Activator X. And I also recommend using some kind of a D3, but not necessarily in the summertime for all people. Something you got to be careful with D3. These can be toxic, so it's really important to follow the directions. But these are what Weston Price used to help nourish people and actually bring them healing. So I would consider this as a great, convenient way to get your fat-soluble vitamins, which we know are very important for many processes and the overall system of things.
Very cool. So now your online business is Organic Fool.
Organicfool.com.
Organicfool.com. And we just talked about all the products that you sold. So everybody make sure, www.organicfool.com. And thank you, Dave Bowers.
Good job. Thanks, Bert.